JCM Photography. Again, welcome to this week's video, which I'll be covering my lighting setup, the kit that I carry with me to weddings. I'll be starting with the most used items first, just like I did with the cameras and the lenses, and working my way down the list. Just wanted to clarify two things from last week's video, something I failed to include, which is my backup SD cards. You need to take Buku SD cards with you. You need to have Buku backups because you never know when you might have a card go corrupt on you. Another thing I need to clarify is this, the eyepiece is a 1.5x magnification for your viewfinder. I said it was 1.5 inch, but it's 1.5x. I have that on both of my camera bodies. On to our lighting, which my number one piece of used lighting equipment is my Yongnuo 585 EX speed light. It is TTL. I shoot TTL majority of the time because I'm running and gunning. I don't shoot light during the ceremony, but during the reception and partying and stuff like that, it's always changing lighting conditions, and I've just found that TTL is close enough that I'm not going to have grossly overexposed or underexposed lighting. It works well on my system. The reason that I chose this light over the previous lights that I used, because it has a better light output and it's much easier to adjust the flash compensation which if you're shooting in TTL mode, that's going to be your fastest and easiest way to adjust your flash output. This flash gives me better, more latitude as far as increasing the light output or decreasing the light output than I have available in my camera. Plus, it's much faster changing it on the fly. If you're bouncing flash, which is the number one option, bouncing off of a wall or a ceiling, which has worked out well for me the last few weddings that I've photographed, then you're going to have to increase your flash compensation, because you're going to be losing a little bit of your effectiveness going up and then spreading out, or going to the side and then spreading out. So having that option to hurry up, okay, bam, I just shot this, okay, it's a little bit underexposed, so I'm going to increase my flash compensation by a third or 7/10 of a stop, or whatever you choose through experience to do, then so be it. If I don't have a wall or a ceiling that I can bounce off of, I'll use a Rogue Flash Bender. And what I'm going to do is I've got a black art foam that has Velcro. I've attached Velcro to my Rogue Flash Bender so that I can quickly take it on and off of a flash gun. What this does, this will go in front and it'll flag my speed light so that I don't get direct spillover onto the scene, and everything's going to be coming off my Rogue Flash Bender. Because even though it's not as big of a light source and it's nice and soft as a ceiling or a wall is, it's still much bigger than this point light source from your speed light head. So I'm going to go ahead and put this Rogue Flash Bender on here, and I'll be right back. Alright, I've got my Rogue Flash Bender attached to my speed light head. Now, one thing that I will tell you, this is the large Rogue Flash Bender. It has a little bit of weight to it, so if you're running around, you may get this. So what you'll have to do is, I take gaffer's tape and attach to the side of the light to keep it on the opposite side of my battery door, and that will keep it from flopping around. Okay, you can bend the Rogue Flash Bender. It's got little wires in it. You can bend it down like that. Okay, what I use to attach these is little hair bands. I get the kind without the metal that's elastic all the way around, and you can use those to attach it. And like I said, I've got Velcro that I've attached on my Rogue Flash Bender. I've got the same Velcro attached to all my speed lights, so they're interchangeable. Also, I have on all my speed lights Velcro where I can quickly attach my color gels or CTO gels if I need to use either one of those. Okay, now that's number one. The most used piece of lighting equipment is my Yongnuo 586EX flash. What used to be my go-to is my Pentax AF360 FGZ, which has a little bit less output than my Yongnuo flash. It's a little bit more cumbersome to get around and change your flash compensation on, and it doesn't allow me the latitude that my Yongnuo allows me. Excellent build quality on both of the flashes I choose to use. I actually have 3 of the Pentax 360 flashes because I used to use a 3-light bracket to light up group shots and stuff like that, where now I've went to using battery powered strobes when I do the group shots. Next up, my most used strobe is going to be my Alienbees B800 320 watt second strobe. It's a nice small form factor. It's stepless adjustments. You can actually have your studio or your modeling light set to adjust along with the power output of your strobe. I rarely use the modeling light because I'm going battery powered, so I'm trying to not suck all my battery power out to power a modeling light. However, from time to time I will turn the modeling light all the way up and just use the modeling light. Back up to that, this is a newer DS300 300 watt second strobe. It's a lot bigger, heavier than my Alienbees. It is a pretty good strobe for a cheap strobe. I have never noticed the light temperature change or light output changes with this, so it does the job if I need it with my Alienbees were to go down. The good thing about the Alienbees is I can get replacement parts from readily off of the Paul C. Buff website, whereas the newer light is more of a disposable light. You're not going to find replacement bulbs and stuff like that for them. Next, we're going to go to triggers, and my go-to triggers is the Cactus V5 transceivers. They can be either transmitter or receiver. You got to make sure they're set to the right channel, obviously, just like with any of them. But they're good. I haven't noticed them misfiring. You can actually put them in groups and stuff like that, but for me, I just use one because I don't have time to set up groups doing weddings. Mostly what I use my light for anyhow is group shots. I will use it for couple shots and some bridal shots and stuff like that as well. My backup to my Cactus are Acon, I forgot what the nomenclature is for them, but Acon, they are TTL, so I have that option of firing my speed lights TTL off camera if I need to. I can also shoot high speed sync with them, though I don't shoot high speed sync rarely ever. I'll shoot it from time to time on camera, but I rarely shoot it off camera because I've just found, for my personal taste, I like to use a variable neutral density filter. If you're going to go this route, make sure you spend the money on a variable neutral density filter. I'll have a Tiffin variable neutral density filter. You can also stack them, but just for run and gun and convenience wise, I get excellent image quality with this. I've not found the telltale X that you get a lot of times with a variable neutral density filter. It works good for me. However, I don't really push it real far. You can use it too for getting your shutter speed slow enough to get motion blur type shots and stuff like that. The backup to the backup, or if I'm in a venue where I can actually set up multiple strobes, I will bought a set of, as Matt Granger calls them, Poverty Wizards. They're newer, and it's 4. I can trigger 4 flashes at the same time. I can set those up. A lot of people will use white shoot-through umbrellas. I prefer to use silver reflective umbrellas, because the thing of it is, if I have a ceiling to shoot off of, you can turn these upside down and you're not going to get as much light bleed from these affecting your exposure as you will from a white shoot-through. Alright, next up, my light meter. I have a Goosen Multi-Pro light meter. Rarely use it. Sometimes when I go out on and do studio stuff, some of my print on location stuff, I'll use it. A lot of times the reason I don't have to use it is, again, my shot book. I covered this in the last one. I would say 2/3 of my notes and my setups in here is based off of off-camera lighting. So I have a lot of it in my notes as far as starting points, and then I can just slightly adjust from there. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, because I don't have it with me, it's with my backup photographer right now. I use the Vagabond Mini battery pack to power my studio lights. My backup photographer needed it, so he's got that. I'll maybe try and show you that at the beginning of next week's video and talk a little about it before we get into the topic for next week's video. Alright, now we're going to talk light stands. Normally, I'll carry with me, I have a Impact air cushion light stand. It's big, it's tall, it's strong, and it'll get the job done on a lot of occasions. However, if I need to be mobile and go light, I have a lightweight light stand that has casters on it that I can roll around. That's normally light stand wise what I take with me, unless it's a venue where I can use my flash, a reception venue where I can use my flashes in the corners. Then I'll carry the extra 3 light stands. I choose to put my bead lights on smaller light stands that are less cumbersome and less heavy to carry and smaller footprint and stuff like that. Now, definitely a definite must is some sandbags. I have 8 of these sandbags. Don't put the sand directly in them. Put them in a bag, and then put your bag inside your sandbag, or else you're going to be having dust and sand leak out all the time. Next up, we're going to cover light modifiers. I already covered my reflective silver umbrella. I have white ones. I have a couple gold ones that I never use. I don't know if I've ever used them. Next is going to be this is a newer 32-inch Octabox. It's pretty decent build quality. It comes with a front diffusion panel, and I bought a grid for it as well. And that's what I'll use a lot of times for bridal shots, couple shots, and stuff like that, where I don't need a huge light source. Now we're getting more into, I'll use Godox 47-inch Octabox, same thing, has a front diffusion panel, and I bought a grid to go with it as well. This is getting more towards your group shots and stuff like that. I will use it for the couple if it's convenient, if there's a convenience factor working for me as far as not breaking it down and stuff like that. If I got a run and gun, it's still a nice light source for a couple as well. You can get real good coverage head to toe with this light source. Next, for huge group shots, I have a 63-inch white reflective umbrella here. It's not shoot through. The cover, you can take it off actually and make it a shoot through. I just choose to make it a white reflective umbrella. Works real good. You get real good coverage. I've shot groups as big as 70 with that, and nice good coverage with that as long as you're far enough back. It's not going to be the soft light source that you get out of an intimate group of, let's say, 15 or 20, but you can light them up and get a nice picture with that. That covers my lighting, what I take with me on location. It's just come from years of experience of knowing what to do and what to shoot. If there's any way that I can help you with understanding lighting or understanding why I shoot what I shoot, or why I take what I take with me, by all means include that in the comments. I want to invite you to subscribe and share this video. If you find anything helpful, by all means let me know, because it's motivation and what makes me want to do this channel is feedback that I get from all you out there, whether you be starting out photographers or brides and grooms. You know, I'm here to help out. Next week's video is going to be on, it's going to be 5 additional questions that any bride and groom should ask a prospective wedding photographer before you hire them. Again, I'm trying to help everybody out here, make the process less painful for them, whether you choose me as your wedding photographer or not. I want you to have the most success and get what you envision out of your wedding day photography. Again, thank you for watching and have a blessed night.